What most people do is they prefer to avoid the possibility of disappointment rather than take risks. They don't want to go through that feeling of it didn't work out, or I tried and it didn't work, or I'm not good enough, or look, here's more proof that I can't have what I want, and will actually deter the thing from coming into your life. It will deflect it from coming into your life. And that results in missed opportunities or delayed progress in manifesting their desires. So today we are going to talk about one of the top manifesting mistakes to avoid. Now, we've kind of covered a few things prior to this on the other calls, but today I really want to talk about something that the secrets community, the law of attraction community, and the manifestation community seems to forget about and seems to really not value the importance of this one step that is extremely important, and that is taking action. You know, if you look at the words law of attraction, there is action in that word attraction. And so lack of action keeps people from manifesting what you want. Manifestation requires a balance between visualization and action. Visualization is putting out the energy, putting out the image, putting out the picture, the feelings, the thing that you want to bring into your life, the thing that you desire. And action provides a way for it to come in. So simply visualizing your dreams, your desires without taking any steps towards them is not enough, and will actually deter the thing from coming into your life. It will deflect it from coming into your life. So you need to take inspired action towards your goals and be open to opportunities that come your way. Because when you start putting out what you want, when you start visualizing that thing that you desire, when you start creating a picture, an image, a movie of that which you want, the opportunities are going to show up. And what most people do is they're like, well, I don't want to do what's required. And so they'll just take their attention off of that and do something else, or they'll ignore the opportunities, or they'll walk away from it. And so there's a few reasons we do that. So I want to cover some reasons why we don't take action. Number one is lack of belief. Lack of belief. Many people struggle with believing in their ability to manifest their desires. So self-doubt, skepticism can hinder your motivation to take action. If I don't believe I'm taking a trip tomorrow, that I'm actually getting on a flight to go to where, to the tropics, I'm not going to pack. It's futile to pack. And so if I believe that I'm taking a trip tomorrow, I will absolutely pack. And here's the beautiful thing about it. It doesn't take any effort. There's no effort in packing. There is excitement in packing because I know that I am taking a trip. If I know I am going to be successful in this business, then I'm going to hire the right team. Then I'm going to put a plan in action. Then I'm going to, put my down payment on a lease for this space. I'm going to do the things that are required because I believe that my business will be a success. And so if I don't have a belief, then when put a down payment on a space for my business, because that would be almost like throwing away my money because I don't believe that it's going to be successful. If I don't believe that I'm going to find the right team, then I'm not going to start interviewing for a team for my business. If I don't believe that I can get into a beautiful love relationship with the man of my dreams, then I'm not going to put myself out there. So that belief hinders our ability to open up to the resources to take the action that is required to bring in our results. Number two is fear of failure. This is a big one. The fear of failure or rejection can prevent people, a lot of people, from taking action towards your goals. So what most people do is they prefer to avoid the possibility of disappointment rather than take risks. They don't want to go through that feeling of it didn't work out, or I tried and it didn't work, or I'm not good enough, or look, here's more proof that I can't have what I want. And so that fear of failure keeps people from taking the risks. And honestly, no success ever comes without risks. If you look at every person who's been successful, they have taken risks, and 100% of those risks has not resulted in a win for them. And so taking risks is vital, is important when we are manifest our dreams, because we don't know 100% what's going to lead us to what we want. And I will venture to say every step we take, if we're taking it, is going to lead us to our manifestation. Even if this first step doesn't immediately, bring us the jackpot, it's, if we're moving forward, that one failure or that one misstep or that one project, business, relationship that didn't work out will always lead me to the next. Always lead me to something bigger, always lead me closer to my goal. So as long as I keep moving, as long as I keep learning, as long as I keep growing, as long as I keep taking the blessings of every step, then I will inevitably get to my desired destination. So that fear of failure, we have to let that go. You have to let that go. Fear of rejection, we have to let that go, because that's going to block you from taking the steps towards what you want. Number 3 is procrastination. I don't know if any of you have ever suffered from procrastination. I haven't. And I'm joking, because my brainchild, my passion project, my book just came out. We're launching next Tuesday. So I invite you all to participate in that. And I hope I can count on your support to share the message and the news of my book. But I'll tell you, I'm embarrassed to say, I started writing this book 30 years ago. I started writing this book in my 20s. Here it is. Should I give you a sneak peek? Oh, I don't know. I don't want to. I'm going to, because I have to. I'm talking about manifestations, but you guys are the only ones that have seen it. It is not out for anyone else to see, but here's my book. It's The Modern Woman: Discover Your Inner Sweet, Sexy, Badass Queen. And thank you to Dina for helping me so much with getting the final touches on here. So it's finally out, but I'll tell you, talk about procrastination. Most people have a tendency to procrastinate or put off taking action, and that results in missed opportunities or delayed progress in manifesting their desires. So for me, I started writing this in my 20s. I was drawn to it in my early 20s. And there's a whole life experience that I had that I share in the book, so you can read about it. But I procrastinated, wow, for decades. But no more, right? I have it out, and it's going to be launching next Tuesday. And I'll tell you personally, for me, for the procrastination was the fear of failure, and was also perfectionism. We're going to talk about perfectionism. It was never good enough, and I wasn't quite ready for it. And I would write, and then put it away for a few years. And then I would be drawn to it and pulled towards it. And I would write, and then put it away. And I kept telling myself, I've got to finish it. I've got to finish it. But there were other things that were more pressing for me. And my priorities weren't always on that book. And it was definitely fear. It was a fear of being seen, and a fear of failure, and fear of it not being not being able to impart all of the ideas I had spinning in my head in an eloquent enough way where people can really feel it and experience it and have their lives changed by it. So procrastination, we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. But it does keep us from creating. And let this be a lesson for me and for all of us, that it's never too late. Great, we procrastinated for decades. It's done now. It's done now. So we can be proud of ourselves for getting that completed. But don't let procrastination get in the way. Number 4 is lack of clarity. Without a clear understanding of what you want to manifest, you may struggle to take the necessary actions to achieve your goals. Now, this goes back to one of the things that gets in the way of most people from aligning their thoughts and their beliefs and their actions with their desired outcome, is having that visualization, having the desired outcome so crystal clear in your mind that you know which direction to go. And so the lack of clarity, it's like, I don't know that this opportunity in front of me is the right one to go, because I don't even know what I really want. So we have to be clear about what we want. If I know exactly where I'm heading and I can put that address into my GPS system, I know exactly when to make a right turn and when to make a left turn. If I just put in, the city, it's going to take me to this random place. I can't generally know where I'm going. Otherwise, I'm gonna, get lost. I'm going to go right here and left here, and I'm just going to go around in circles. So that lack of clarity, so I wouldn't even go into a car. I don't head in any direction unless I have an address. I went to dinner last night and it took a while for me to get an address. And I was like, okay, where am I going? I wasn't getting into my car until I had an address. And so that's what keeps us from taking action, is we don't even know where we're going. We're not clear on that. Number 5 is overwhelm. When we're faced with too many tasks or a complex plan, what we tend to do is we feel overwhelmed, and that overwhelm results in paralysis. Prevents us from taking action. It's like if I have to think of this massive project and a million things to do, then my mind just starts racing and it feels like I don't even know where to start. And so we want to get out of overwhelm by breaking things down into tasks, by taking that complex plan and chunking it down into, okay, what's my first step? What's my second step? Or what are the different pieces of the puzzle and how can I tack one at a time? And so writing things down, clients who work with me know, today I had clients all day and I kept saying, write it down. Write it down. We need to get it out of our head that has 60 to 70,000 thoughts every single day. And most of those thoughts are negative. We need to take that out onto paper so that we're no longer driven by our emotions of the moment or the overwhelm of the moment or the paralysis of the moment. And we start to discipline ourselves to do what's necessary to move forward. So we want to get out of overwhelm and take the right action towards our dreams, towards our desires. The next one is limited resources. Now, most people will use resources as an excuse. I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the right people, I don't have the right team, I don't have XYZ, and that keeps them from taking action. But the real truth is that there aren't no limit in resources, there's limit in resourcefulness. And so what we have to do is, when we're very clear on our vision, we're able to look at what's required. And when we know what's required and we're very clear on that, then that becomes a beacon for us. And our reticular activating systems can start to scan our universe and, like a heat-seeking missile, find the resources, find the people, find the right team, find whatever it is we're looking for. So there's no such thing as a lack of resources. Everything is available to us. If you have a dream, you cannot have a dream in your heart without the means to accomplish it, without the means to bring it into your life. It's impossible. It's impossible to have a dream without the means to accomplish that dream. That's just a given. By definition, the dream in your heart is meant to come to fruition, is you are meant to give it life. And so the means by accomplishing it is always available to us if you're aligned and if you're tuned into the right space, and open to the resourcefulness and willing to take the action, even if you're not sure it's going to lead you directly to what you want, because we're never guaranteed. We're never guaranteed. But if you tell yourself, if you're clear, if you know in your heart, in your mind, that every step you take is going to lead you there, then you can't take a wrong turn. Because even, when I go into GPS and I put an address, and this happened last night, I took a wrong turn. What did Siri, or I don't know who she is right now. She just redirects me. She's just, at the next stop, make a right. She redirects me, and then she takes me a different way. And in that experience, I get to see a whole terrain, but I'm eventually going to get there. And so being willing to take those inspired steps that are going to eventually lead you to the right place. The next one is perfectionism. Now, you can't perfect something that's not done. That's the mistake that most people have, is they try to make something perfect that is incomplete. Perfectionism. So you can't perfect something that's incomplete. You can't perfect something that's done. When I was working on my book, I kept trying to make it perfect, but I was just going over the same things over and over again. versus getting it done. Now I can go through a 1-over edit and then get it out. And then as I read it again, or as I get feedback, there'll be other iterations of it. I'll be able to create the next volume, to improve my talk around this, to be able to share more wisdom and more insight. But I had to get it out first, because there's nothing I can do without getting it out. Same thing with us, is the desire to make everything perfect before taking action can be paralyzing. And it causes most people to delay or avoid taking action or acting on their goals. And I'll tell you that perfectionism is really is a fear of failure. It's a fear of failure. It's a fear of not being good enough. It's a fear of having something, out, and fear of, oh, I spent all this time, this energy, and it's still bad. And I'll tell you, I've had plenty of breakdown moments where I'm like, this is crap. And I felt that, like, in my heart, like, this is crap. I don't want to get this out. It's crap. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to get it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect. And here's the real kicker is we're never going to be perfect. And so we have to be okay to be not perfect, to be willing to be, perfect in our imperfections. And we're all doing the best we can, and we're all growing, and we're all learning. So that perfectionism, don't let it block you from giving your gift. Don't let it block you from creating the life that you desire. Don't let it block you from having everything that you want. Next one is lack of motivation. Lack of motivation. Some people feel that they have to be motivated to move forward or inspired enough to take action towards their manifestations. And I'll tell you, motivation is kind of like coffee, like caffeine in the morning. It doesn't last. We can't run on motivation. We have to run on vision. We have to run on inspiration. We have to run on that drive within us, which requires discipline. It requires writing things down. It requires making a decision. Decision comes from the Latin root desire, which is to cut off. It comes from that place where I'm going to cut off anything that doesn't align with what I want. And come hell or high water, I'm moving in this direction. So there has to be a level of discipline, and not discipline. I don't like the word discipline, so excuse me for using it, even though I don't like it. It's not discipline in I have to force myself, but it's discipline in making a choice and following through on it. And that's what I love about writing things down, because once you write it down, it becomes something solid. It becomes something tangible. You've taken it out of your mind and you put it out. And so it becomes real. It's something that you could focus on. And so when you have your dreams and when you have your goals that are written down and you've broken it down into steps and you've chunked it into tasks, then that just becomes, I wake up, I look at my list and I do what it says. And I'm connecting with the universe, connecting with my higher self, connecting with that inner resource within me so that I can continue to take that inspired action when it comes. And I'm connected with the inspired action. And I'll tell you, people are like, well, I'm not inspired to do anything. Well, are you listening? That's my question. Are you listening? Are you open to inspiration? Because if you don't follow through, that voice is going to get really, really quiet. It's not going to be as loud and powerful as it should be. So we have to listen to it. And how do you listen to it? How do you prove you're listening to it? By taking action. It's that inspiration. It's like William Faulkner, who's an author. He said, I only write when I'm inspired. And I happen to be inspired every morning between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. And so what he's saying, he's doing is he's opening up his mind to that inspiration. And there's that discipline of, I'm sitting at my desk, I'm ready, I'm listening, I'm open. And so if he were to get, and I'll tell you, I hear from so many people, from my clients and from people all the time, oh, I had all these ideas. I want to write a book. Every time I mention I wrote a book, everyone's like, oh, I want to write a book as well. I've had this dream. I'm like, well, then write it. Because all those ideas, if you don't put it down, if you don't take action on it, the inspiration is going to get lower. The voice is going to get lower. If we don't move forward, it's kind of like you have a friend. You have a friend who you constantly are giving advice to, and good advice, because you're a smart person. and you share your wisdom, you share your advice with them, and they don't ever listen. They don't take action. They're like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they turn around there and their life's still a hot mess. Are you still going to waste your voice on them? Are you still going to commit to helping them? Are you still going to be there for them when they need you? Probably not. The same thing with that inspiration within you. If you don't give it airtime and you don't respect it and you don't take action on it, it's not going to keep talking to you in the way that it wants to talk to you. It's going to get quieter. And so we want to start taking that inspired action and be willing to take those risks, be willing to move forward, again, with no guarantee. With no guarantee of success. There is no guarantee of success. If you were guaranteed success, then it wouldn't grow you, right? There's a lot of things that you do where you're guaranteed success, right? I pick up my cell phone, I call my son, I'm guaranteed to, well, he doesn't always pick up, so that's a bad example, but I'm guaranteed to be able to leave a voice message or a text message. So that's a guarantee, but that's not growing me. And so when I go for, I'm going to, be on this big stage, or I'm traveling the world, or I'm writing another book, I'm not guaranteed success. And so what that does is there's a drive within me that is required to grow in order to manifest that. That's the real gift of all of this, not to go on another tangent, but when we talk about why are we designed? Why are we required to learn to manifest? It's because that is what's going to grow us. That is what is going to connect us to the highest version of us. That's just a game. That's just a tool. This is a way we tap into unlimited possibilities. The end product is not the book. The end product is not the car that I want. The end product is not the house I want. The end product is me getting in touch with that higher part of me that has no limits, that is tapped into unlimited potential, that can be so disciplined that I train my mind to focus on something that I'm aligned with and that I've connected with, that I'm required to bring forth onto this planet, and that I can bring that forth in a beautiful way, in an aligned way, where things work for me. I'm not working off effort. I'm not climbing uphill. I'm aligned with all the powers of the universe to really manifest what it is I want. That's the real gift in all this. But you can't learn that unless you practice manifesting a parking spot. That's like the first test that I require my clients to do. I need you to start manifesting parking spots, and then we manifest $1,000, and then we manifest, the random things, and then we manifest the client. And then all of a sudden you realize, wow, I am a powerful manifester. And at that point, the world is your oyster. You've tapped into unlimited potential. And all you need to do now is break through bigger and greater limitations, because you're designed to evolve. And at every step, when you get to that level 10, that becomes your new 1. And you're required to get to another level 10. And when you grow to that level, that becomes your new 1. So evolution never stops. Evolution never stops, but you have to get in touch with this part of you in order to evolve. We'll see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.